Hey everyone, Jones here, and welcome back. Happy Pride Month. um, yeah, so, kind of in the spirit of Pride Month, I suppose. Um, you know, a celebration of who you are and just letting that out there, expressing yourself, and just not being ashamed of it. I kind of want to talk about something sort of similar to that. I want to talk about coming out. Um, these times in my life where I decided I didn't want to hide this anymore. I didn't want to hide being Joanna, being Jones anymore. And I came out to certain people, starting with my family, and later on through the years, started coming out to others as well. And most people in my life have been super awesome, super cool, and amazing, and I love them for it. Most people. So, let's dive right in. The first people that found out about Joanna were my siblings, my brother and sister. Now, I didn't so much come out to them as they caught me. So, I'm coming home, I'm about to turn on our street, when I see my sister's car go by. I'm like, oh, shit. Did she see me? Oh, I hope she didn't see me. And I'm there all dressed up, everything. So, I turn onto the street, and I see my sister, pull into the driveway. And I pull up and I park outside the front of the house. And I think, okay, it's okay. My sister has zero reason to come out and greet me or anything. She's just gonna go inside and oh, holy shit, she's coming down the driveway to meet me. So, yeah. I see my sister coming down the driveway and I'm like, well, guess we're doing this. Yeah, so I step out of the car and I'm dressed like in a tank top and shorts. And my sister like stops like when she sees me step out, and I'm wearing my wig, my face is all done up, but still like she doesn't say anything. I walk over to her and I talk to her. I say, hey, I I I'm a cross-dresser. It's something I do and kind of live my life as. It's kind of a normal thing for me, and the whole time she just has this look on her face, like. And then when I'm finally done talking, she goes, "You're a cross-dresser?" Just like completely as loud as possible. I'm like, "Oh my god, shut up! Don't tell the neighborhood." And I explain it to her. Just it's like it's nothing weird. It's just literally something I do and live as. And she was pretty okay with it. She waited for me while I went back in the car and changed and went back to Josh mode, and then we both went inside together. But she was really cool with it. My brother, sort of a similar story. And I come home and I see his car in the driveway, and I'm like, oh crap, he's home. Ugh. Well, it's probably okay. He's probably just in his room playing video games. At the time, he lived his life in his room, like locked in his room playing games. Like there was no way. Like chances are he's not gonna see me. I can just sneak into the back door, go to my room, and no one will know. Well, no. Of course that didn't happen. I parked, I went in the back door, and of course, as soon as I take one step into the kitchen, he walks in. He walks in, he stops, and just kind of looks at me. Why are you dressed like that? And all I say is, I'm a crossdresser, it's fun. I think that's all I said. And he's just kind of like, okay. Just like carries on. Like he just does not give a shit. And yeah, so my siblings found out just because of really bad timing. I just happened to come home at the wrong time, or the right time, I guess, and they caught me. For I think a good year and a half, they were the only ones that knew, and they were so cool with it. They would let me be with them, doing up as my female self, like in public, out getting food or just shopping or whatever. Like they were completely cool with me just letting me like kind of be with them out in public. They didn't treat me weird. They didn't treat me differently, and I love them so much for it. And even now, having come out to them as trans, like they still just are just so supportive of me, of everything that I've wanted to do. So that was my siblings, and my siblings were awesome and cool and great, and I love them so much for just not reacting in a way that I was afraid they would. Because with my parents, with my extended family, I was terrified, absolutely terrified that they would respond really negatively. But they weren't, and I was really happy about that. Now, my parents, on the other hand, yeah, that's a different story. Ugh. If I'm going to transition at some point, I gotta come out to mom and dad. I'm going to have to do it eventually. Um, and the thought of it it paralyzed me. I was terrified because I was scared of my parents. Not so much my dad. My dad was the more open-minded of the two, but my mom, yeah, let's just say I used to have nightmares about my mom when I was a kid. Um, so my dad. So I came out to my dad first, and what happened? I think he was gonna go and get food for dinner, for the family, and I decided to go tag along with them. So it was just him and me in the car. It was just us alone. And as we were driving, I came out to him. I told him, "Hey, Dad, there's something I really want to tell you. Um, I really want to tell you and Mom, but I know you're the more open-minded parent, and I feel more comfortable coming to you first." And I had my phone ready, and I showed him just all these pictures of myself done up and in public, and just dressed normally, not doing anything weird, just being me. And I told him, "Hey, I'm a crossdresser. It's an honest to God lifestyle of mine. I do this because I just kind of find myself feeling more happy, just feeling happier with myself, when I present as a woman. And I would like to transition it one day as well." I said something along those lines. And I don't know, he had this kind of incredulous kind of smile on his face, he didn't quite believe me. He thought I was joking, but I showed him pictures, and he at the time during the car ride, I thought he was okay with it. He seemed pretty cool with it. And I found out from my sister later that week that he was actually more in a kind of a confused state, kind of a disbelieving state, because he went to my sister and actually asked her "Hey, this thing that Josh does, is this for reals?" And yeah, it's a real thing. Yeah, so I guess my dad, he seemed like he was pretty accepting of it in the car, but I found out later that he was kind of more confused by it. Anyway, so we get the dinner, we come home, and as we're walking to the door, I asked my dad, "Hey, how do you feel about me coming out to Mom? Good idea, bad idea?" And he just said, "I really think you should just keep this to yourself." So, yeah, coming out to Mom was not a good idea. And I wholeheartedly agreed. I was terrified of my mom. She's by far the one person I'm most scared of in the entire world. That's a story. Yeah, so my dad, I guess he wasn't, thumbs up supportive about it, but he at least didn't outright hate it. And frankly, that's as good a reaction as I was hoping for. I mean, I don't know. I guess I wasn't really expecting him or my mom to just accept me with open arms, but I just don't want them to make a fuss about it. And my dad didn't make a fuss. Although, in later months, later years, I found out that he was really not okay with it, because, whenever he'd get mad at me or upset with me, he would always resort to that. Poke at at the time cross-dressing. Just be like, "Why haven't you done this? Were you too busy with your little dress-up hobby?" And I don't know. I thought he was okay with it, and then finding out that he really wasn't just kind of really hurt. And oh. Anyways, my dad, yeah, so he was kind of mixed and then slowly turned negative over time, which kind of sucked. Um, so yeah, siblings were super cool with it, 100% all the way through and through. My dad was, I mean, he wasn't upset about it at first, but became upset about it later. I don't know, maybe it just, I don't know. My mom, on the other hand, my mom was the scary story. My mom is the one that I was terrified of coming out to, but my mom and I used to like take walks back then together around the neighborhood and everything. So it was just her and me together. We were out in public, so there was no chance that if she got pissed that she would just start screaming at me. So yeah, I kind of selectively chose a time we were in public so I'd be a little safer. But we were just together, and I told her, I came out to her. And God, as soon as the words "I'm a crossdresser" left my mouth, her face. And I try to explain myself, try to say that this is a normal thing for me, this is a lifestyle of mine. It's not weird. No, it is weird! It's weird, it's not normal, it's weird. Why are you doing this? What, you want to be a girl? And I try to show her my pictures of just me dressed in, dressed casually. And she just wasn't having it. I couldn't get a complete sentence out of my mouth without her cutting me off and just laying into me and just and I tried to just kind of talk and explain, but I just couldn't. And like my confidence it completely evaporated. I couldn't take this anymore. I couldn't talk to her, and just hearing that the poison, the acid dripping from her words. Is this what you want? You want to be a girl? Like not woman, girl. And like at that point, no, I don't. This is just purely a hobby of mine. That's all it is. Like my confidence was just gone. I couldn't say what I was. I couldn't say that I cross-dressed as a lifestyle, and I found it made me so happy that I want to transition. I couldn't say that. Instead, just said, nope, it's a hobby. That's all it is. And I just kind of shrunk down and didn't want to. I mean, I tried to explain that, gender is it's much less of a solid, permanent thing these days. I mean, people realize that they're a little different. People realize that they want to change, but she just wouldn't listen. She's, like I said before, she's very traditionally minded. Anyways, so that conversation ended. It ended with her saying, well, I was fine when I thought your brother was gay. I guess I'm fine with this. Just don't ever let me catch you like that. Yeah, Mom, you're real fine with it. And then after that, she didn't talk to me for 2 weeks. That's what she always does when she gets pissed. She just gives you the silent treatment, but no, for 2 whole weeks, she didn't say a goddamn word to me. Didn't even look at me. And when she finally did say something to me, she confronted me about it. Just said, I don't think this dressing thing you do is really a hobby. I think it's just something you do to get off. Now, my mom is a huge prude. Like, anything sex related, like, she just doesn't talk about, doesn't understand. So her actually using the phrase "get off" was a huge thing. It's like she came out and accused my dressing of being a sexual thing. Even though I tried to tell her that it was a normal lifestyle and it was a normal thing that I did, but she didn't believe me. She just came up to me and said, "No, this is a sex thing. I don't believe you." Yeah, Mom. It's a sex thing. You got me. If this was a sex thing, do you honestly think I would have come at you about it? It hurt. Like, I fully expected that kind of reaction. I fully expected her to take it negatively, to not believe me. Every time I envisioned that moment in my head where I came out to her, I fully expected it to just go badly. But having it actually happen just destroyed me. I remember crying so hard after that. So, I did my best to respect her wish. I still hid it from her, kept it hidden. The only people I ever let see me as my female self were my siblings, because at the time they were the only ones that knew. My mom, I did my best to respect her wish, to not let her catch me like that. But I didn't. She's only ever seen my female self 3 times. That's it. Because those were times where I decided that I didn't care about her fucking wish. I didn't care about her not wanting to see me, because I just felt so good about myself. I just felt so happy that I didn't care. I wanted to be me. So, let me show you. So, about 2 years ago, I went out with some friends. Just, kind of hung out and talked at like this little diner place. And I'd come out to everyone there. I told them about my female self and asked them if it would be cool if I wanted to show up as my female self. And they said, "Oh yeah, totally." And so I did. One day I didn't tell anyone, I just showed up like this. This is the outfit that I wore. And they were cool with it. Like, they didn't care. They didn't treat me differently. They just, I arrived, hugs and handshakes, sat down and chatted like always. And it was awesome. Just being treated like, a normal person. In public, around my friends. And I loved it. And I just felt so good about myself. So I was just kind of riding this high, I guess, of just feeling so good that night. And I didn't want it to end. So, I drove home, parked in the driveway, still dressed up like this, and, it's like, okay, well, I guess it's time to change back. But then I thought, you know what? No. I'm not going to change back. Because this is me. Because I feel good about myself. I don't want to feel ashamed of this. I don't want to feel like I have to hide this all the time. This is me. And I'm not going to let my mom stop my good feeling. So, got out of the car, dressed like this, spent about 10 minutes pacing the backyard to work up the courage. But walked in the back door, and there was my mom, exactly where I knew she would be. You walk in the back door, the TV's there, and there's like a couch here, and she's like facing it. So I walk in the back door, and she doesn't see me. I walk in, I walk past her on the couch, I look over at her and say, "Hey, I'm back." Just the smile. "Hey, I'm back." And she looks up at me. This is the first time she's ever seen me in real life dressed as my female self. And she just looks up at me with this look of utter disgust. Oh my God. And I just keep on strolling onto my room. I don't stop. I don't... Whatever. The rest of the family's in the house, so she's not going to start screaming, because She's not going to embarrass herself like that. But I just keep on walking, go to my room, close the door. Oh my god. Oh my god, like, doing that was so cool. Because it's like, I don't want to be afraid. I don't want to be afraid of hiding this all the time. So that was the first time my mom ever saw me. The second time my mom ever saw me, I was dressed like this. So I wanted to go see my favorite band play at the Hollywood Bowl, and fuck yeah, I wanted to see them as my female self. Now, they were playing on the weekend, which meant my whole family was going to be home in the house. And at that point, I had never ever dressed with my family around in the house. Like, I always used to get dressed in the car. But this time, no. I'm going out to see a show. I'm going to get myself done as pretty as I can, and I need a bathroom to do this. So, showered, shaved, got myself all prettied up, went to my room, put on my garbage t-shirt, of course, my favorite jacket at the time. Ugh. These boots, which are like my confidence boost boots. I love these so much. And yeah, just got myself already pretty and walked. So going from my room to the back door, I have to walk past my parents' bedroom. And I knew my mom was in there. Her door was open, she was like folding laundry or something. So I knew she was in the room. I didn't care. Walked out of my room, straight past my parents' room. I didn't look in to see if she was looking at me. I just kept stared straight and just kept on walking. Strolled through the kitchen. My heels are clicking on the tile, and my brother and sister are there. So I say, all right, I'm going out now. Bye. And they're like, okay, bye. Enjoy your show. And I leave. I go outside the driveway. Come back inside. And say, hey, one of the cars is blocking me. Can you move it, please? Like, oh yeah, sure. So they move the car, and I head out, and I go off to my show, and have an amazing time. And after I leave, my siblings told me that, my brother and sister told me that after I left, my mom came to the kitchen, and she was like, did Josh really leave like that? Was Josh actually dressed like that? And they were both like, oh, we don't know. We weren't looking. So, yeah, my brother and sister covered for me. I love them so much. Anyways, that was the second time my mom ever saw me. And the third time my mom ever saw me, I was dressed like this. Dressed like a fucking badass. So it was Halloween. I went to work, dressed like this. Everyone fucking loved my costume. I won the costume contest. I walked in and people were like, oh my god, I thought you were actually a woman. But yeah, no, I went to work, where a bunch of strangers saw me dressed like this for the first time and just didn't give a shit. I mean, granted, they probably thought it was just for Halloween, they wouldn't, I don't know, they might have responded differently if I actually showed up dressed as my female self some other day of the year, but as far as Halloween went, they were totally cool and loved my costume and thought it was super cool, and I loved it. And yeah, just like, I'm riding a high again, I feel so good about myself, about this, that I just didn't want it to stop. So I went home, walked in the back door, and my mom was there making dinner. And I walk in, I say hi. She turns around and is like, hey, why are you dressed like that? And I don't know, she tried to play it off, tried to kind of laugh. It's like, oh, I forgot it was Halloween. So were other people dressed up? Oh, what were they dressed as? And why are you dressed like this all the time? What, you can't just be like a warrior, but a guy? You have to be a girl all the time? Like, what's wrong with you? That conversation didn't go all that well. I decided I was done. I started going to my room, and she's like, well, did you win the costume contest? Yeah, I won. Oh. Good. Probably because you were so original. Yeah. Just went to my room, closed the door, and cried my eyes out. So yeah, those are the 3 times that my mom has ever seen me as my female self. And every time, the way she reacted, the way she responded, the tone in her voice, the poison on her words, it's just, there is a reason she is the one person in the whole wide world I am most afraid of. And that's just not this. Like, she is the fucking source of my depression, of my anxieties, of the reason I want to kill myself for 3 years. But yeah, so that's the story of how I came out to my family. My siblings have been cool with it, have always been cool with it, and still are. I'm living in this apartment now with my brother, and he's been awesome. He's been super cool with letting me dress up and accepting the whole transgender thing, and referring to me by my female nickname, Jones, and referring to me by female pronouns exclusively now that we've come out as trans. My sister, she still lives with my parents, but I came out to her as well in person, and she's just been super cool. I told her how I'd been on hormones, and she looks at me and she's like, yeah, I can see, you've got hips now. My parents, my dad, I don't know, I thought he was on my side, but maybe just talking with my mom, she got him to hate it, or maybe he's always hated it. He just didn't show it because he's just too nice of a person. I don't know. My mom, though, reacted exactly how I expected her to react. She just flat out hated it. Because when I came out to her in public, she was pissed. She wasn't screaming at me, but she was pissed. And just clearly did not believe me when she finally accused this of just being a sex thing. And the few times that she has seen my female self, the first 2 times my family was home, so she couldn't scream, but she did react very negatively. The 3rd time it was just her and me, and she had no problem just screaming at me. And I would have loved that, I would have loved to have had a supportive family, a supportive household where I could feel safe to just kind of be myself and explore my gender. But I didn't. I just had to keep Joanna hidden. I was okay to be her around my siblings, those few times that I was able to. Hanging out at home or being out in public or whatever, Like, I cherish those days. But my parents, especially my mom, I just had to hide it. I had to keep everything hidden from her. Because I was just so scared. I was terrified of her. And for a good reason. But, I wanted to feel safe and supported. And be able to kind of do this and explore this around people who supported me and accepted me. But I couldn't. Joanna was something that had to be hidden all the time. Had to be something that I had to become in the car and then get undone before I went back home, so it sucks. This was the sort of stuff that I had to deal with during my early years. Hell, stuff that I had to deal with now. Like, I only moved into this apartment like 3 months ago. And up until that point, I still had to hide it. Still had to keep this thing hidden. And it sucks. It just royally sucks. And thank God that I had my friends and my siblings and people who did accept this, did support this. This is the story of how I came out to my family. And how it went pretty okay for some, not okay for others. Next time I'll continue on and talk about how I came out to my friends. Because that's actually been just so much more positive. Just so much better for me. So yeah, I do think I am going on a little long, so I'm gonna cut it here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out. It it sucks, I mean, people these days are more accepting of LGBT plus, and it's great. And anyone who has had that support at a younger age from their family, from their friends, I'm so happy for those people. But not everybody gets that. I mean, who knows? Maybe if I was safe to explore this during those early years, maybe I would have just realized I was trans earlier. Maybe things could have happened sooner. Things could have happened better. Maybe I'd be further along with my transition. Who knows? Some of us don't figure things out until later, and it sucks, but that's just kind of how it goes. So, things can get better. That's all I can really say. Yeah, so, sorry. Yeah, thanks for listening, thanks for hanging out, and I'll, see you guys next time. Happy Pride Month. See ya.